So we are recording. So I'm going to show you a few things, and they're different steps, and I'll try to break up the videos. But this is, again, just a little bit of a reminder where everybody's at. So once you have a slab, the slab should be about 1/4 of an inch, and this is a scrap of slab, okay? So you want to make sure that you rubber rib, and you want it to be really delicate and soft. You're not trying to pull the clay around, and this is just a scrap, a cut off from somebody else's slab. And this has a few impressions, but I'm not too worried about that, so I'm going to leave that. And you want to do both sides, and it should be just really light touch so that you're just smoothing out that canvas texture. You want to try to go from the outside in. Everybody should be doing, if you're getting marks, that means you're probably doing it a little bit too hard. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that I want you to do. So as you get done with a Day of the Dead project, or get to a stage where you're waiting for something to dry, or you're in between, or you're waiting for me, for that matter, right, to help you with something, this is something you all can do. And what we're going to be doing is experimenting with different glazes. So remember I told you we were making those little spoon holders, right? That's what this is. So I'm going to show you a few different techniques. And one is the use of building up a texture. And this one is lace, which I like this one. So I'm going to do this one. Build it in here. And whenever you put any texture on there, I have texture rollers, I have texture mats. This is another one that comes out really fun. You have to kind of get them into the surface of the clay so that they make an impression. Now this lace is super thin, so it's kind of easy to get going, and you can kind of see that it's getting into the surface with a little bit of a roller. I don't want to smush this so that it's all of a sudden a lot thinner than 1/4 of an inch. I still want it 1/4 of an inch, okay? But you've got to get it into the surface. And with this one, it's easy to see. If you haven't, if you're not sure, you can kind of pull it aside a little bit and see if it's working. And if it's not, you can also try a little bit of the rubber rib. Sometimes that works for this finer stuff, which is great. Alright. And then I think I'm good. Yeah, that looks nice. Can you guys see that on the screen? Yeah. Okay. And then you're going to take, I do have all these like cookie cutter type shapes, these cutters. So you're going to take a little bit of a cutter, like this, and cut out just a simple shape. I wouldn't make it too complicated, okay? And when we get, these are all dried and everything, we're going to play with, let me see if I got it up here. There we go. We're going to play with the different glazes, which I'll do another video for that at that time. Okay. So once I have this where I want it, I'm going to also remind you guys about slumping. Okay. Just get this up a little bit. The edge. There we go. So I have this ready to slump, and you guys are doing much larger slumping forms for your Day of the Dead. Same principle though, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over this form. I like this form for the spoon one because it kind of gives you a little impression in there to hold whatever sauce you have, you know. So this is a good one just for this small one. Now when we do this, we're going to slump around the edge, and how you do that, again, is moving in circular motions all the way around. And it's just going to make, this one is just a little gentle one, which is really easy. And you'll do, I'd like you to do like 3 of these. And they can be different shapes. Like if you don't want them all ovals, or you don't want them all circles, or whatever it is you decide. You can, you know, pick different shapes, and that's fine. So the sponge, you want to make sure it's not super wet. Whenever you apply water to the clay, you want to be kind of careful. You don't want to soak it. And you can see I'm starting to build up just a little bit of a lip here. Alright. Now, I'm going to let that sit. I can probably let this sit for a class and then pop it off, but maybe even 24 hours. If you're finished with it during a class, you can drape it lightly with plastic and then come back and get it the next class, which is totally fine. If you guys can't ever do that, then I can do it for you, like if we have a class where you don't meet the next day, okay? But you do have to let it sit, so it kind of takes some of the plaster in these forms, takes some of the moisture out, all right? And we should still be able to maintain that lace texture that's on the bottom. I'll also show you guys how to do feet at a certain point, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that today.